Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Infinite Potential of Being Human podcast. My name is Nicky Clinch, and I am your host. I am back here with Fiona because we had more that we wanted to cover, and it was so important, it feels, particularly for this time that we're in right now, to cover this particular topic. So you're getting an extended version of Fiona today. You're lucky. I really wanted to speak to you about power. In my journey and in what I have been learning from my teacher, power feels like and seems to be one of the hardest things to be in a very clean relationship with, beyond the mind, beyond the ego. It almost feels like every layer of dissolving has been dissolving more attachments and identifications with power in order to be able to use, not even use it, have it move through me and us in service of life, not in service of some kind of survival.
Well done, absolutely.
So I wanted to speak to you about it, and I wanted to ask you about it because it feels like we are in a strange time, particularly in the spiritual community, where people are becoming gurus and worshipped and listened to and hung on every word. And how, firstly, I need to hear about that. What do you want to say about that for now?
Okay. I think there's a really beautiful phrase that Caroline Myss actually used that I think she adapted probably from Jimi Hendrix or something. But it really, I think, is so poignant in as much as, let me hope that I get this right. We're coming into an age, which Caroline Myss talks about, maybe Jimi Hendrix said, of we're into an age where we come out of the love of power into the power of love. Out of the age of the love of power into the power of love. The end.
So good.
The end.
What comes to me as I hear that is both how beautiful and true that is, and what a fine tightrope of a line it is to expand deeper into love in a world, in a time that we're in right now, which then can allow you the possibilities of having more power.
Exactly.
To then have that filter through the mind in even little tiny contaminating ways.
Exactly.
And how alert we need to be with money and attention and people thinking what you have to say is important. And it feels like, just even for myself, it feels like I need to have an eye on it all the time. And it's, at the moment, what I see, it's like everything seems to be like a power game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, again, to understand the small picture within the big picture and the big picture within the small picture, that we are coming out of ages of dominance. We are coming out of ages of control. We are coming out of ages of reason, of logic, of the acquisition, of entitlement, all these qualities that give us a false reading on ourselves, but that are programmed into our being. And to handle power in right relationship, which is energy, is also, I think, our ability to continually become naked into the field where we have to dissolve self-importance.
Yes.
That we are something, which is why I choose not to talk a lot, because it's not that I'm not talking a lot. I mean, my children would say I talk too much, but it's like, Mom. But where I put my words is very important to me right now, from the position of trustworthiness and what I'm offering the field. Because it's so easy in this circuit, especially in the spiritual community, to believe we have answers when we've just read a book or done a course for a weekend. And I don't want to decry that, but I think discernment into the field of coherence, into the field of right relationship, which is the examination of how are we using our power, which has to come back to our earlier conversation of humility and undoing and becoming naked, really, in the whole storyline. And where are the threads of domination?
Yes.
Where are the threads? It's so difficult. You're doing a strong job because you've got thousands and thousands of people turning up to listen to you. I mean, how many people are turning up for this?
We have 110 people on Saturday coming.
Yeah. And your podcast went to number one in, like, you hadn't even released it.
12 countries.
Yeah, and this, you're better to answer this than anyone, actually, is how do you dissolve your self-importance and your attachment and turn that into service and not get blindsided by an egoic, unhealed, needy, often child state. Because if we've been born into the program of not being enough, if we've been born into the program of therefore no self-worth, and all these other shadowlands, it's very easy to spin the minute you start to cultivate followings or people believe in you or paying vast amount of money.
Yes.
And money, of course, is a big one. How do we come into right relationship with money?
Yes, there's so much to unpack on that one.
Yeah.
When you ask me how, I have to be honest. I'm constantly in that inquiry.
Yes.
And I need to be around elders like you. And I literally meet with my teacher every 2 weeks just to have a mirror up to me. I need that. To stand in front of 110 people and to be so aware of myself that it's not about me. This is not because I'm better or I'm special or I'm someone or I'm the little girl that finally mummy is loving me. My job there is to be of service. What can I give you? What can I allow through me for you to feel?
Yes.
But the level of awareness it takes to even be in that inquiry when there are all these eyes is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And the beauty of what you just said is to have the awareness where life is speaking through you for whoever needs that in that moment. And it's you, but it's got nothing to do with you.
No.
That's the whole way of humility. That's the whole way.
Yes, and it is it's a tightrope. And I have asked myself a lot recently, is it even possible to dance that dance when you start arriving in such multidimensional places of consciousness and bliss and stillness? Is it really possible to get booked for a photo shoot and be written about in a magazine? And is it really possible to dance that dance without being pulled back into... I guess the real question I keep asking myself is, am I being part of the problem or am I part of the solution? And I don't know. It's like, should I be retreating and getting quieter? Or should I be allowing life to move through me and letting people and it's a genuine question. Like I'm constant. I look at you and I see how you live your life and who you're being, and that you came out to be on this podcast is, you don't do that a lot. So is it even possible to dance that dance and I guess keep your energy really, really clean?
I think, my darling, this field of accountability that you sit in is this questioning of, am I really working in flow? Am I working because there's some level here where some other flavor is present? But that's the beauty. And you look at me and all these kind things that you say to me, but I'm 70 and I'm in a completely different cycle. Maybe when I was 40, or maybe when I was 50, it would have been different. And also, I don't have that brilliance that you have. I don't have that capacity to pierce in the way that you do. This is your unique architecture. My architecture is something else, and somehow we blend and we offer different altars. But I do think there's the beauty of your own self-examination, but I think the bigger question for all of us is, what are we giving our energy to? And how are we in subtle ways taking, extracting, dominating, pulling to feed a part that may not have been fed? Compassion is the friend to this. It's okay. We're all coming out of a big, big dream. We're all coming out of the Crusades, the Middle Ages, the Holocaust, the genocide. We're all coming out of these old ways of being that were dominant control battles of fear, where we were enslaved in consciousness. It's only now in these movements, and these movements also need wisdom. There's a lot of movement going on where people are finding their voices, people are challenging gender, people are challenging, we're in all the women's power, sexuality, Black Lives Matter, all this rise of the Aquarian voice, which can, unless it's got wisdom, it can also be disruptive because it becomes antagonistic and inflamed. And we could say, if we looked at our own immune systems, so many of us suffer from inflammation. The world is inflamed, the fire of what's recently happened in LA. We are in an inflamed culture where we come out of a toxic culture. And the only things we can absolutely do, as far as I'm concerned, is to sharpen our arrow, is to sharpen our awareness, to keep this self-examination going. What is feeding me? What am I feeding?
Yes.
Where am I dominating? Where am I extracting? Where am I taking? Where do I believe, I'm more important than another? Where have I fallen in love with a false image that is feeding something that's not even real? This is right relationship to me, to power. And it comes from, in some Buddhist texts, the great Mahamudra, the great sea of emptiness, the great capacity to become so spacious and so empty. And we come back to that time and time again in different ways, which is to checklist ourselves. That's all we can do. We're going to slip up. we're going to get attached. We're going to take advantage because it's written in. But we begin again. This is the power of meditation. We return to the seat every single day in a willingness. And so this willingness to look at every single record that we have been given on this planet is about condoning dominance, extraction, control, entitlement, as I said, that we feel we can just do this because we've become so casual to the sacred. We've become so unconscious to the reverence. And as we return to our holy land, as we return to our inner hearts, we develop a higher resonance where we don't divide and conquer, where we don't dominate, where we don't control, but we are in the fallout of this domination, everything that's going on, God bless America, everything that's going on in the world, where it's taken to its absolute heightened of shadow, in the same way that everything's going on in the distortion of what we're allowing to happen in Gaza. This is the mirror of the world that we need to be looking through. And we all play a part in it. I play a part in it, and like you, I have to watch myself so carefully when I hold a retreat or when people come to me for teachings, to bring myself back and 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 back to emptiness, to deliver, to let go, and to let it move through. And to check myself. And there are millions of places I'm still checking myself continuously all the time. I'm so not the full version of myself. And if I'll even get there in this lifetime. But what I personally attain to do is to do better every day. Just simply to do better every day. And that also takes us into the next podcast, which is the power of forgiveness and the power of acceptance, and how all this merges into the most beautiful cosmic cake. We need all these different qualities to do it differently.
Yes.
To do it differently. And this age of power over has to end. It cannot stand in the new world. It cannot stand in the new paradigm. And it absolutely does not exist in the quantum.
Yes.
This
Hierarchy,
power over, believing, superiority, control, I am better than you bullshit. It's a F up. It's an F up. But we have to keep talking about it. We have to keep sitting in our sanghas and bringing it to our teachers or to our communities. These are conversations that we need to keep talking about and talking about and talking about, because we have an amazing capacity to drop into unconsciousness, an incredible capacity. So we have to keep talking and sharing and checking and saying no, and realizing that we are coming out of the age of power over and dominance. And it cannot happen.
No.
But in our own inner sanctum, to look at how are we doing it, which is somebody's ringing at the door, and how we are going to decolonize, ourselves from these viruses that have taken us.
I'm so glad that we managed to find the time just to have this short but powerful conversation. It felt like an arrow that needed to happen. So thank you so much for your extra time and for your wisdom on that. I think that'll be really, really helpful for everybody to listen to, and I'm sure it's an inquiry that people will identify with right now and a question. So thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you. So wonderful.